Blackboard side, if we go to the admin panel, and again, this is an Ultra NAB enabled Blackboard system, the first thing I'm going to be able to do is go down to LTI tool providers, and I'm going to register this LTI tool provider here. And I've done this as an LTI 1.3 tool, so you can see here if I click register LTI 1.3, that's where the client ID goes in, and that's a client ID that Turnitin sent me. Once I do that, it populates a variety of other fields that is pulling directly from Turnitin, and I can continue configuring it. So I've already done that on this server. Let's take a look at what that looks like. You can see here, once I added the LTI 1.3 tool, I put in my special client ID from Turnitin, and this showed up. It shows up for me as Turnitin Feedback Studio Sandbox, and some of this other information is there. If I go through and edit this, you can see most of this information came in because I put that client ID in. So it inherits things like the name, description, deployment ID, and so on. I didn't need to do any other additional configuration here except for these institutional policies, again, following instructions from Turnitin. Once the LTI 1.3 tool has been registered here within your LTI tool providers area, you will need to create a placement that will create a placement for the Turnitin assignment tool. This will allow this tool to show up for instructors to be able to use within their Ultra courses. So you can see here for my Turnitin entry, I've got one placement, and I made that. So if I go manage placements, you can see I've added one placement as a deep linking content tool. And here's what it looks like. This is a fairly standard LTI setup. I gave it a name, gave it a handle. It is a course content tool that supports deep linking. I uploaded the Turnitin icon, and I pointed it to the tool provider URL, again, provided to me by Turnitin support. Once that's done, this is now ready for use by instructors. So let's take a look at that instructor experience. So I'm going to come over to a course where I've already got this kind of in use, but I can take a look at how I can use Turnitin. So for example, if I come into my assignments folder here in my Ultra course, you can see I've already got 2 assignments here. And these are Turnitin assignments, but I started the workflow here from within my Blackboard course. I will start the workflow as if I'm going to add a third assignment. I won't actually do that. I'll go back and edit the ones I've already created, but I can show you what it looks like to kick that off. So let's say I wanted a third assignment here. I'd click my plus, I'd go to the content market, and below the content provider area are all of the institutional tools that you have available. Once the Blackboard admin has set up Turnitin as the LTI 1.3 provider and they've added that placement, instructors will see it among the other institutional tools, and in my list it's down here at the bottom, Turnitin assignment. When I click that, the LTI launch will happen in the Ultra panel, and from here I can start building a brand new Turnitin assignment. And you'll notice I'm not in Blackboard at this very moment. I've actually done a deep context launch link right into my Turnitin account as an instructor, where I can then start creating an assignment and configuring it. If I were to have completed this workflow, things like the name, the instruction, the due dates and start dates and the grades and those kinds of items actually make their way back to Blackboard where relevant and appropriate. Things like conditional availability, things like the max score, things like the name and description. So I don't have to synchronize back and forth. By creating here on the Turnitin side, hitting submit, it navigates me back to my Blackboard course, and I've done kind of both things at once. I've created the Turnitin assignment in my Turnitin account, and then it also is deployed in my course. So to save time, I'm not going to do that here, but I will show you what it looks like when I've already done one. So once you've done that workflow, you can actually go back and edit any of these assignments, or at least see what they look like on the Turnitin side. So if I come in here to this assignment 1, you notice when I click on this, instead of taking me to the native Blackboard assignment tool as an instructor here, and again, I'm still an instructor, it navigates me to the assignment manager screen on the Turnitin side, because that thing I clicked on was not a Blackboard assignment. It was a Turnitin assignment that I created using the integration. So you can see I've created the assignment, I've got all my students, no one's taken it yet, and I can even go into the settings, and this is that screen that I originally filled out. I gave it a name, I gave it some instructions, I configured some of the optional settings, and some of these are blocked at this point because I've already created this and I've already deployed it. But this is all basic and native Turnitin functionality. So you can create this assignment and edit it on the Turnitin side, and then shows up on the Blackboard side. Because they are assignments, they also automatically get a grade center column created that is tied to these items. So I've added 2 Turnitin assignments here. You can see my assignment 1 and assignment 2. As I added those, the grade center of this course automatically had those grade columns added. So I look at the grade center, this assignment 1 and assignment 2, these got created automatically because I used the Turnitin integration to create and then deploy a Turnitin assignment in my Blackboard course. So I don't need to create a standalone grade center column and manually reconcile grades back and forth. That part's done. When students go to take this assignment, which I'm going to show in just a moment, they will take the assignment on the Turnitin side, and the grade and feedback will automatically kind of show up in the relevant spot within the Blackboard course, automatically, or at least within a couple of minutes as the integration does its work. So let's take a look at what that looks like now. I'll submit it as a student and then even come back maybe as the instructor and take a look at what that looks like. So let's take a look at the student experience. So here I am in the same course as a student. I'm going to go into my assignments area, and you can see I've got my 2 assignments there. So now when I click on this as a student, I am going to be taken to kind of a brief and a mini peek. It tells me, okay, there's my assignment, there's the due date. I haven't really done anything with this assignment yet. And when I hit launch, same kind of idea. I'm still in Blackboard, but not actually. The LTI launch for the student takes over the panel, but puts the student into the Turnitin screen for that assignment. And this is, again, native Turnitin functionality. So if I go to upload my submission, again, as a student, here is where I can submit the work that I've done to my instructor. So I'm going to browse and upload my assignment. And in this case, the assignment as a student was created as a Word document, and I'm going to upload this here. So upload and review, and again, happening in Turnitin. And as soon as this paper is uploaded, Turnitin will start putting into the queue for processing and checking it for things like citations, plagiarism, and so on. I can go ahead and submit that. It'll let me know that it's submit and then complete. And from here, as a student, I can go about whatever it is that I wanted to do. If I close this, I can see it's there. And at the moment, there is no report yet because it's in the queue. And of course, it's not yet been graded, but I can see that my submission has been uploaded successfully. Now that a couple minutes have gone by, let's take a look at the instructor experience by just visiting that same assignment again. My student has recently submitted a document, so if I go to visit that assignment again as an instructor, it's going to take me to the assignment management page for the instructor on the Turnitin side, and here I can see I've got an assignment here this student has submitted. So I can go and take a look at it, and Turnitin will show me what the student uploaded, and then it'll render, again, native Turnitin functionality. It'll tell me basically all of this was copied, and I can see what sources they came from. I could decide to filter. I can annotate. I can fill out a rubric if I want. So, and I might actually do that. I'm going to say this student, I'm going to only give them 5 points, and I'm going to, because they really just didn't do a great job on this paper. So at this point here, I've looked at the paper. I have graded the paper, and then I can close this screen. And now I have a grade for the paper, so I can see here, and I can move on to the others if I want. I can also look at all the reports, and this is always available for me within the Feedback Studio for Turnitin. Once I close this, the score for that will end up coming back to my Blackboard course as an instructor. So if I come look at the Grade Center now, I can see that I now have one has been graded, and that grade came over. And this grade is also already automatically available for the student. If the student returns back to their grades in the course, just going to kind of refresh this screen here, I can see that I've got my grade of 5. I click on that, and the student is then taken to the relevant contextual details of that score, but on the Turnitin side, because this was a Turnitin assignment. And so the student can see the grade, and because I allowed it as an instructor, this student also has the ability to see the report for themselves, but again, that's a Turnitin configuration. So in summary, very slick, smooth, and easy to set up integration, leveraging your familiar Turnitin functionality. Does not require a building block, takes a couple minutes to set up, and has a great native workflow within your Blackboard Learn courses for the Ultra Experience. And both instructors and students alike can use the assignment tool inline and take advantage of all the great Turnitin features, but still have those assignments be launched in and out of their Blackboard course, thanks to the LTI version 1.3 integration that Turnitin has into Blackboard Learn for the Ultra Experience. Thank you.